Bro fans, this is Todd. So today, busy day, opening all kinds of stuff. In fact, you can see now we're going to open up the Lords of Power Beastman. So what's the Lord of Power? So the original line before they called it Masters of the Universe to be called Lords of Power, and they had Beastman and He-Man and Merman and Skeletor. I can't remember if they had Tila or not. I don't remember if she was one of the original Lords of Power or not. Oh, and Man-at-Arms. That's right, they had Man-at-Arms too, and they were just a little bit different than the figures we saw released. So, Origins decided to make their own Lord of Power line. They gave out a 5-pack, I believe it was, and they were a little bit different than these, a little more paint apps and stuff, and a really cool release for PowerCon or Comic-Con, whatever it was. Anyway, so they did release some of these again. I'm hoping to get the Skeletor one if they release it. But this is the Beastman one. And he is quite a bit different than the Beastman we got released already. So let's go ahead and open him up and check him out. All right, so first up, let's take a look at the box art. So first we see the Lords of Power, Beastman, attacking He-Man. Beastman's primal rage is a feral force that only Eternia's mightiest can hope to contain. And you can see it just has one picture showing he can swing around, and it shows other figures in the line. And it's funny, it shows He-Man as one of the figures because we know they re-released He-Man again with a full sword and the correct head. So, hey Jamie, thanks for joining us. And so let's go ahead and open this up and check them out and compare them to other figures in the past. All right, so I hope they re-release all the Lords of Power. There are some cool ones that were released in that 5-pack. Now, I did get the 5-pack originally, but because it was going for so high on eBay, it's like, you know what? I could use the cash more. And so I ended up selling out and selling my Lords of Power, thinking hopefully they'll re-release them someday. Here we go, Between a Rock and a Hard Place, the same comic again. What figure could you make with them red shorts? I don't know. That's a good question. All right, so hair is... That is such a crazy face. Look at that. Weird. Anyway, let's get him out of there. I'm surprised they didn't have the armor on in the package. It might make him look way more fierce. So let's break down the articulation, and then we will get him dressed. That's a good idea. Yeah, Bo, if they release all the figures from the 5-pack, yeah, I would never open the 5-pack because that would be worth a ton someday. But anyway, so first we got a ankle articulation. We have a boot cut, which is really weird because he has no boots, but that's okay. What's cool about it is you could pull this apart probably and put a boot on there if you wanted to. So if you wanted to give him a boot look, you could. He has knee articulation, and then hip, and then waist. Would have been fun if they were spring-loaded like the old 80s figures, but I suppose that's probably asking too much. And then shoulder movements. Now, one thing about these shoulders you guys may not know about these Origins, which is so cool, is they've actually angled these down so that they hide the articulation up on the top of the shoulder right here. Because if you look at some of the older figures we got in Classics and other lines, when you put the arm all the way down, you would see that shoulder cut on top. And by changing that angle, it makes it so that that shoulder is hidden, which is like a really cool feature. But the bad part about it is now when the arm swings up, it goes up at an angle. Now you can't tell because it's rubbing against the plastic. When you bring it back down, you can see how it comes out at an angle instead of straight back down. So that does limit some of the articulation. Like if you want to put your figure in a flexing pose, like he's showing off his bicep, you really can't get it to open the way you need it to put it in that bicep pose to show a really good flex. I tried making a picture of He-Man flexing the other day, and I realized that you just can't get it in the right spot to do it. If they would have added a bicep cut right here, it would have been perfect. That'd be the one thing that this thing really needs. All right, so the wrist bracers do not come off. I thought they might have come off. I was checking for that. And of course he has a belt that looks like it can come off pretty easily. Yep. All right, let's go ahead and get his armor on him. It's kind of cool. One of the figures does actually have the straight arm connection straight on, and that is Trapjaw. Trapjaw, for his robotic arm, actually has a straight connector, and it's not at the same angle as the other arms. Now, what's kind of crazy is this is very Merman color-like. And he has the blue jewel thing, so it looks a lot like Merman's colors that we see. So it does kind of make them look like they're almost more matching now, instead of being all different, like they have at least a theme color with that blue and yellow. All right, let me aim this down so you guys can see me struggle with the armor. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, I don't wear a bro, so I'm not very good at trying to control how bras go on, so not my forte. But there we go. Looks like I got it on. All right, that looks pretty cool. Rah. All right, so let's talk about this Beastman compared to this Beastman. At first glance, it looks like they have a lot of similarities. In fact, they even have the same hands with the knuckle things on the back, so that's kind of cool. But the coloring is quite a bit different. Now, my Beastman, I actually had to drill a hole in his back, because when I was doing my stop motion animation, I had to plug these pieces in there to hold them up so that I could do different moves and fight stuff and everything else, because then I could, so that's why he has a hole in his back, so I can do some different things with him. So in retrospect, I should have put the hole right under the belt. That'd been way cooler. But anyway, but normally the hole's not there, so that's the same. But the head sculpts are so different. Look at that. That's just crazy. Let's see. I love that figure. I got the orange one, and the red one is the other one that came in the pack. Yep. So what's weird is look how close his armor is to his color. So if I was to swap the armor, it would look really weird having that darker red armor on him, but it might be kind of cool. Now, a long time ago, I wanted a flocked Beastman. So check this out. Oh, I gotta put my little feet things over here. Now, Beastman likes to fall backwards, so I use these little angled rubber pieces to put under his feet so he's not always falling over. As you'll find a lot of 80s He-Man figures, if you get those little rubber angled pieces, it helps a lot to make them stand. A lot of times I'll put them under the cloth so you can't see them. But this time I just figured, I'll just put them on top. So what's crazy is where was I gonna go? Oh, this flocking. Take a look at it. It's all different shades to make the orange, and this was actually done by a customizer that does G.I. Joe figures. I found this guy. He had a website called Hair Club for G.I. Joe or something like that. And his process is so perfected that the G.I. Joe community actually recognizes his repairs for hair to still not lower the value of a figure. And so people will send him pictures sometimes of what they look like, and he will do the hair or the facial stuff just like what that person looks like. So he has some really cool customizations. So I called him up because at the time, a lot of us had a bunch of green Mossmen that needed some new flocking. He didn't do green though, and I thought, you know what? It'd be cool to do a Beastman. So I asked him to do a Beastman. He left the stomach bare where his abs are, which is kind of cool. Left a bald spot on his head, left his ears bare, and of course his hands and wrists. So it's kind of some fun flocking, and of course right around his legs. And so when I sent him to him, I had to pull them all apart, and then I sent him to him. Now, of course, the arms are easy to pull off. The head's a little harder, and then, of course, the legs required me to use the that one very carefully, pull out the rubber piece that connects the legs on. But there you go. There is the cool flocked Beastman. And unfortunately, he did end up costing me a lot to do because the guy did charge a lot for his service. And I actually got a brand new Beastman to do it. I used the commemorative one, opened the box, took him out, mailed him to the guy, and then he did his job and mailed them back. Now it looks like some of these are bent. I don't know if they're supposed to be, probably not. Let's toss them in some hot water and see if they straighten out. Speaking of straightening out, let me show you something. After I get this armor back off. See, I should have dated more. Then I'd be better at these bras. But that's awful, huh? You guys are like, oh, how did we find this guy online? Speaking of that, please subscribe. I'm only a few people away from getting my 22,000 subscribers. So if I get just like, I think 5 more people subscribing, you could be my 22nd thousandth subscriber if you guys end up subscribing today. So if you already subscribed, thank you so much. I appreciate it. And I am working on some cool new goodies for a Patreon thing too that will be coming out soon. So look out for that. It'll probably be a little while before I get it done. Ugh. Ugh. There we go. Wow. That is crazy. Should not be that difficult. All right, I got my hot water going over here from earlier. And let's just go ahead and toss that in there and see if those just straighten out. Now, it did work for her. If you remember seeing the video earlier today, this was all bent up in the box, and I threw it in some hot water and it straightened right out. So that does work to fix your bent rubber pieces pretty easily. So there we go. All right, so my next video in a few minutes after this one's over is going to be the Lords of Power Merman, and that will be the last one for today for this stuff. And let me know if you guys like me doing them all separate like this, or if you'd rather have one big long video. I used to do one big long videos all the time, but I found that people wanted to see one certain figure and they had to watch a whole entire video to find it, and I couldn't always fit all the figures across the title that I'm opening. Mine are bent on all 3, but my box set is not bent. My Lords of Power box set, but his armor is red. He is orange in the box. Wow. Hey, thanks, Mike. Just let me know that. All right. So if yours were not bent in the box, then these should probably straighten out. If I can get it out of there now. You can't see what I'm doing here. I'll also turn the camera. I'm just kind of shaking it in the water here to get them all loose so they'll straighten out. And it looks like maybe these 4 are supposed to be bent. I'm not sure, but the rest look like they're pretty straight. So I'm guessing that those ones are supposed to have a slight bend to them. I'm not sure, but the other ones are not. That did straighten out. All right, let's see if my skills improved at all at doing this. You guys can watch me suffer through trying to do this yet again. It's funny, when my daughter was little, she used to have these Polly Pockets with these little rubber clothes, and it was so hard to get these clothes off and on these little figures, and they would always want to rip and everything else, these little rubber skirts and clothes. There we go. Cooking with oil now. Oh, his weapons. Did he come with any weapons? Where is... I don't even see where I dropped anything. Hey, you guys tell me, is he supposed to come with a whip or any weapons or anything? Or is he just a brute that just... I don't see... Yeah, I don't see any weapons in the back either. So I guess it's just his armor that came in there. Nope, just armor. Thanks, Mike, for letting me know. I'd be like, man, I lost his stuff already. Which would not surprise me. I've done that before. All right, so let me know what you think of my flocked Beastman that I made. I'm not going to flock an Origins one. Like I said, it was way too much to pay to get it done. And it's cool for one. And but for all the extra articulation on these Origins figures, it'd be tough. Someday I'll get another Beastman without a hole in his back. Now, I know he has a battle axe in his hand. I've always loved the Beastman with the battle axe in his shield because the box art from the Battle Ram had him with a battle axe. And I've always liked that look. Now, when I was younger, I would grab the blue battle axe from the weapons pack because he has a blue dot and a blue short. So I figured, okay, he's got some blue on already, so he gets the blue battle axe. And then Stratos would get the blue sword. Sometimes I'd give him the Faker too, just depended. But usually, since Faker had his own stuff, I usually gave it to Beastman. All right, well, thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, tell your friends, and we got just one more figure to go, and then I should be done. I don't know. I might have some other stuff. I got some stuff that's supposed to be coming in the mail today. We'll see if it shows up. All right, like, subscribe, tell your friends, and I will see you guys in about 3 or 4 minutes.